While the winds were calmer today, the fire is still being fueled by dry vegetation, and spot fires continue to pop up. Here's a look at the latest numbers. According to CAL FIRE's latest update, almost 4,000 firefighters are battling the flames. More than 210,000 acres have burned. Containment is up to 27%. More than 800 buildings have been destroyed. Almost 32,000 others are still being threatened.
So let's get the latest now from the ground. Reporter Chip Yost joins us live from the California-Nevada state line. And Chip, you've been there a couple days now. You've seen the progress. How are you feeling about the way things look?
Well, it's looking good. Today was a really good day for firefighters. They got a break in the weather. They got a break in the winds. The skies cleared up, so they were able to get some more precise airdrops. And it's looking good, but the fire is moving east. You mentioned we're in State Line, Nevada, which is literally on the state line. Just a couple blocks that way is South Lake Tahoe in California. We're actually, believe it or not, you wouldn't know this by looking behind me. We're in the parking lot of the Hard Rock Casino here on the state line. It has basically been transformed to a staging ground for firefighters and other agencies who are trying to help out in the fight of this fire if it gets across the state line. NV Energy, the biggest power company in Nevada, is also staging in the area we're at right now. They work with fire departments to protect infrastructure and power lines in a wildfire. Luckily, they haven't been needed yet. The fire has not reached the state line, but they are having some issues on the south side of the fire in California. Nearly 3 weeks in, and the Caldor Fire is still doing damage. Here in the Caples Valley, on the south end of the fire, firefighters are trying to prevent the fire from reaching the Kirkwood Ski Resort and some cabins in the area. And even though the red flag warning is over, the winds are still presenting a challenge.
We're in extremely rugged territory throughout this whole fire, and this is a huge fire incident with all different types of terrain. The winds, even though we're not in red flag warning, the winds do gust throughout that area and over the ridgetops. They can reach gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour, even without being in a red flag warning. So still pushing the fire.
So far, since the fire started, it has destroyed more than 600 homes across more than 300 square miles of destruction. Ashes from the fire can now be seen washing up on the shores of Lake Tahoe. And with South Lake Tahoe under mandatory evacuation, bears have had free reign around town. But for that area of the fire, things are looking better. Thursday, the reduced winds and better conditions allowed firefighters to light backfires on the outskirts of South Lake Tahoe.
So crews are in here backfiring, and they have to wait till conditions are just right to do this. And all it is controlled fire, taking away the fuels in front of the fire, preventing the fire from being able to come in and move in that direction. So in a sense, we're guiding the fire in a direction that we want it to go.
And just a couple of hours ago, we got some more good news. They gave an update as far as the latest containment numbers. Containment went from, I believe it was 25% or 25%. It's up to 27% now. Went up a couple of percentage points to 27%. So they are making progress on the fire, and hopefully that'll continue as we get into the weekend. For now, reporting live here on the state line in Nevada, I'm Chip Yost. We'll send it back to you.
Hey, Chip, curious, you have a North Lake Tahoe fire truck behind you. Obviously, mutual aid has been called, so there are a lot of agencies from California on the scene, but you're in Nevada now, and I'm just wondering, when the fire crosses over the state line, does that change things? Does CAL FIRE stop and it gets picked up by Nevada firefighters? How does that work?
I'm not sure. I was about to have that conversation with some folks earlier. They divided the fire into two basically incident management teams. So they're dealing with the fire on the west end with one management team, and now another management team is handling the east end, which would get it if it got into the state line. They'd have to kind of make those decisions. There is some federal aid coming into this fire, as a declaration was made by President Biden today for help to come in for the fire. But as far as how that would work exactly, not sure. We'll have to get that information for you later.
Chip Yost reporting live. Thank you so much again for your report from the fire lines.
Yeah. The Caldor Fire's progress through the Sierra has slowed a bit, but of course it's still very much a big problem.
Our Grant Lotus is live in the newsroom tonight with an update on where the fire is burning tonight. Grant.
Good evening, Pam and Ken. It only grew, this fire, by about 600 acres today, and that is a big change from what it had been doing. Remarkable improvement, and credit to the firefighters who have really slowed this thing down, at least right now. Yes, the weather helped. Their big focus tonight, as you take a look at a CAL FIRE map, the latest CAL FIRE map, big focus remains homes in and around South Lake Tahoe proper, including Christmas Valley. And then you also have Kirkwood. I'll fly in here, get a closer look. This is Christmas Valley right here along Highway 89. A lot of homes right down here in this area that have been spared. You see the fire is on both sides of Highway 89. A lot of water drops in this area today to keep that fire at bay. Here are all the homes in South Lake Tahoe, the South Lake Tahoe Airport right here. And there's the lake. So you see the proximity, maybe 2.5 miles from the fire line to there. And here are some of those spot fires we've been talking about that are popping up just beyond the edge of the fire. So as those fires pop up, they really try to jump on those to prevent those from merging with the larger fire, and that would enable the fire to make a better charge east towards Nevada. So the fire is heading east. It's trying to go north, and that is one area of concern for firefighters tonight. The other couple areas, Kirkwood, you heard Chip Yost mention how they're trying to protect the cabins and obviously the resort along Kirkwood's area here. And Highway 88 runs through there, and they're trying to keep this fire to the north of Highway 88. You see a bunch of little spot fires popping up just to the south of 88, so they're trying to douse those quickly so that they can control this thing and not allow it to jump Highway 88 like it jumped Highway 50 earlier this week. Now we have another map that we can show you, and that is the heat. This is an infrared map showing the heat profiles, and you can see the yellow is the least amount of heat, the oranges and the reds the most. So this is where they're seeing a lot of intensity, and that's where the fire is trying to grow. So that gives you an idea of where the priorities are here along Highway 88. We talked about that. And then finally, this is the evacuation map, which is changing now. That's good. Some folks in Pollock Pines and elsewhere are being allowed to head home. The orange here in the middle is where the fire has burned. Yellow is evacuation warnings. Red, evacuation orders. Evacuation orders have just been lifted tonight for the region around Round Hill in Douglas County. That's here in southern Nevada, as well as Lower Oaks Points. And firefighters tonight are working to just continue to use their bulldozers to bolster the lines that they have established so that if a wind gust does come and there is a spot fire, that the fire can't kind of follow that, if you will, that they have created even bigger lines than they already have. So that is one of the goals tonight. A lot of work to do, and it seemingly never ends there on the Caldor Fire. For now, we'll send it back to you, Ken and Pam.